UNLV can solve all of its problems in basketball with a curtain. What's up? This is Technically Correct with Tyler Bischoff. Can UNLV ever get large crowds back to the Thomas and Mack? Plus, the Golden Knights hit the Olympic break in first place in the Pacific Division, and we have a very specific, very degenerate guest on the show. Some of you are going to hate the end of this show because of who's going to join me. Here we go. UNLV is apparently considering tarping off the upper deck at Thomas and Mack. The Review Journal had a story on a survey that UNLV sent out to fans about different changes that they might make in the arena. And the big highlight headline one is tarping off the upper deck. So the first fact of the matter here is that UNLV plays in an arena that is too big for a middle-of-the-road Mountain West program. The capacity at Thomas and Mack is almost 18,000 for basketball. UNLV's drawing roughly 5,000 per game. In the last 2 seasons, they've only had 2 games that got over 7,000 fans. Last year against Nevada, this year against San Diego State. We'll see if they get another one the rest of the way. But 7,000 still isn't even half of the actual capacity. They have not drawn half of the actual capacity in the last 2 seasons. I think tarping off the upper deck sounds fine, right? The idea of, hey, we're going to tarp this off. Fans that are sitting in the upper deck are going to come down into the lower bowl. You won't really notice that there's an upper deck and it's really empty. It'll look more full. In theory, the people that were sitting in the upper deck now in the lower deck, it'll also be more compact and a little bit better environment. But I don't know that it makes a difference. There are not that many people sitting in the upper deck to begin with. So I don't know that it will matter. Also, I'm pretty sure you can just walk down and sit in the lower bowl if you have tickets in the upper deck. So you could already be doing this anyways. So like putting a tarp up there, sure, okay. I'm pretty sure Fresno State just had that. Watch them play against UNLV, and I think we saw a tarp in their upper deck. Whatever, it's probably not a bad thing, but I don't know that it makes any difference. I don't know that you need to be asking fans, hey, should we do this? I think, in all honesty, the most visceral reaction you're going to get is going to be from fans that are sitting in the lower bowl who sit there and say, hey, I paid, I don't know how much you guys are paying, $500 for my season ticket. This idiot paid $200, and now we're sitting next to each other because you tarped off the upper deck. I think that'll be the most visceral reaction, which, by the way, that's an illogical reaction if you have that one, but that'll probably be the loudest thing that we hear because it won't make any significant difference to the actual program. I think the bigger question, UNLV plays at Thomas and Mack. It's on campus. It's older, but it's a good arena for a college basketball team, especially one that's as successful as UNLV has been over the last couple of decades here. Will UNLV ever command a crowd that fills the Thomas and Mack again? Again, 18,000 fans. Are they going to command a crowd? Are there going to be games where 18,000 people want to show up and watch UNLV play basketball, right? And there's a couple of parts to this, right? UNLV's probably got to be top 25 in the country, right? Like UNLV's got to be better than just, hey, they could make the NCAA tournament. To get 18,000, you probably got to be, hey, this team is really good. Like this team could actually make a lot of noise in the NCAA tournament. Does UNLV get back there on a regular basis? Probably not, right? I don't think that's going to happen. One season or even just 1 month of one season, maybe. I think that's possible. But I don't know that UNLV is getting back there because on a regular basis, because how good do you have to be if you're going to be in the group of 5 or 6, or it's actually a lot more than that in college basketball? How big do you have to be in a mid-major or low-major conference to be consistently ranked? Obviously, Gonzaga is this shining example of bad conference, awesome program, and they're always ranked. But that's not reality, right? Like if the objective is, hey, we're going to be Gonzaga, you're not dealing in reality. So can UNLV get to a point where they're consistently ranked in the top 25? Probably not. The conference isn't going to be good enough. It just isn't a good enough conference to really produce that unless you're really special. So can they get to that level? I don't think so. Can they do it once, though? Can they do it in a season? Can they do it for a couple of weeks in a season? Probably. They should be able to, right? Like, there's no reason UNLV can't be ranked, right? They absolutely should be able to be ranked. But I would ask this: UNLV is ranked 17th in the country. It's early February. They're playing 10 and 12 Wyoming in the Mountain West. Are 17, 18,000 fans showing up for that? Because I don't know that they are. Because I think the other key here is you're going to have a big time opponent against you as well. It's going to have to be, oh, UNLV is ranked 17th in the country, and they're also playing another ranked team. I think that goes a long way because if you paid attention, right, who are the teams that UNLV has had their biggest crowds against the last 2 years? Nevada and San Diego State, their biggest rival and the best program that they play. By the way, San Diego State's in a new conference next year. So it just seems unlikely they'll get there. And you play at the Thomas and Mack, that arena's not going anywhere. There's not really a better option to play. So you're going to be playing in the Thomas and Mack, even if it's too big for what this program actually is. I think it's not really a problem, but there's a little bit of a problem that the Thomas and Mack is too big. And sure, put a tarp up there, curtain it off, and it won't make a big difference, but go for it. A couple other things from this survey the UNLV is considering doing: moving the band. They're behind one basket. They're going to put them behind the other basket because that's where the student section is. Also considering moving the benches so that the visitors' bench is on the opposite side, and that way it's by the student section. None of that matters because there is no student section. Like, the people that sent out the surveys, have they been to the UNLV games? Because there is no student section. There's a handful of students that sit where the student section is, and that's it, right? There's not students standing and cheering and taunting the other team that's going to make a difference if they're by the band or by the opposing team's bench. Like, none of that matters. In theory, good student section, put them closer to the bench, and awesome, right? Like, yeah, heckle them. But that's not the reality for UNLV because there is no student section. So, and that goes in hand with them being good. If they're good, is there a student section? I don't know because it's completely dead. Completely dead. Like, it's just not a cool thing to do if you're a UNLV student. Does that change if all of a sudden they're ranked 17th in the country? Maybe, but probably not a significant amount. Also, in the Mountain West, is the television deal the Mountain West signed actually much worse than anticipated? Because I had a few people in my Twitter mentions arguing about this week. But Gloria Nevarez, the commissioner of the Mountain West, told The Athletic that legacy members would get at least $3.5 million. That's the same amount they were getting on the previous television deal. So you're going to get $3.5 million from this television deal. But Chris Murray of Nevada Sportsnet, he wrote about this, and he wrote, it's unknown if league reserves will be required to meet that $3.5 million. That's a disaster if that's true, right? Like, that would mean if the Mountain West has to go and pull other money, reserves, to make sure that UNLV and Nevada and Wyoming and New Mexico, that they're getting $3.5 million per year. That means the television deal they signed, they're getting less than $3.5 million per school? That means they went backward. They were getting 3.5 on the last one. Now they're getting like, that's a complete nightmare, right? Because sure, you dig into the reserves and you might get this poaching fee and exit fees from the Pac-12 and the Pac-12 schools. And sure, you've got this influx of money. But if they signed a television deal that pays, I don't know, $2 million per school, there is no long-term success coming for the Mountain West. Because if CBS and Fox and technically ESPN, all of the television networks, told you that you're only worth $2 million now, you're not going to be worth anything ever. Where's the upside in the future to getting more money from television networks? I don't know that it exists. And so if you only got like $2 million now, sure, you might get this Pac-12 money, but once that runs out, how are you surviving or thriving as a conference? I don't know that that's possible. So again, we don't know if that's true. Like Chris Murray wrote, we don't know if they had to go into the reserves to make that $3.5 million number work. But if that's the case, that's a pretty bad sign for what happens. I also wanted to read this quote This is from Nevada's head coach, Jeff Choate. And I know that I've said this plenty of times. I've already said it this week. I know it's not a hot take or a new take or anything you haven't heard before, but I think it's really important to keep saying it to drive home how stupid this entire scenario is. Because Jeff Choate was apparently asked about the television deals of the Mountain West and the Pac-12, and he said, when you look at what the Pac-12 got and what the Mountain West got, it seems like it was a net loss for both organizations. It would have been really good if we could have found a way to make that work for everybody. That's what my initial thought was on it. It's like, this seems ridiculous that we're doing this when together the power of our brands would have capitalized a lot more opportunity for everybody moving forward from a TV revenue standpoint. Yes, it is absolutely insane that there are two bad conferences on the West Coast that could just be one good conference, not a power conference, but a good conference. And we just don't have that. And it's all because what? Oregon State and Washington State didn't want to dare be in the same conference as Wyoming? Get over yourselves. You got left out of the entire power conference ecosystem. You're not anything special. You're a hell of a lot closer to Wyoming than you are Ohio State. And they couldn't accept that. And so now we have two conferences. They're going to be quibbling over like $10 million total dollars worth of television revenue money. That's insane. It's ridiculous. So yeah, there's a fun use of the word quibbling, by the way. But whatever. We're going to be arguing about, well, the Pac-12 got 7 million and the Mountain West got 3.5, but Boise State's got to pay their exit fee and the Pac-12 has to pay their poaching fee, and that means UNLV is going to be really close to 7 million. It all sucks. It's all crappy, and they should all be in the same conference. Everything would be a lot better if that were the case.
Battle Blast, been serving Las Vegas since June 2012 with the very best in family entertainment. We are proud to provide the best facility, equipment, and service possible. Strap on laser tag vests, step into the 5,600 square foot two-story arena designed to look like a worn, torn city street. An exciting atmosphere filled with exhilarating music, blacklight effects, and fog. Battle Blast also features a viewing deck for those not playing can watch players vest up and catch a view of the action going on in the arena. In between games, check out our arcade and prize center and enjoy tasty treats from our snack bar. Birthday parties, sports teams, group outings, and corporate events. Battle Blast does it all. We want to make your Battle Blast experience so good you'll want to return again and again. Battle Blast is the ultimate destination for family fun and friendly competition.
Bischoff's Briefs is brought to you by Battle Blast Las Vegas, the best laser tag in Vegas. Battle Blast is the best spot for your next event. Kid's birthday party, corporate event, your own birthday party, whatever it is, check out Battle Blast Las Vegas. Get your friends, family, coworkers together and head out to Battle Blast Las Vegas, 8125 West Sahara Avenue, your next stop for fun in Las Vegas. The Golden Knights wrapped up the first half of the season. That's not the right way to phrase that. They played way more than half the games, but before the Olympic break, they finished up with 2 straight wins, which, coming off a big losing streak, matters quite a bit. They now have a 4-point lead in the Pacific Division over Edmonton, 5 points over Seattle, Anaheim, because it is pretty close there, 1 through 4. And it's a pretty big lead now, 8 over LA. LA is the first team out of the playoffs. So any sort of worry about them missing the playoffs, that's the gap right now between the Golden Knights and missing the postseason. So they're in great shape to make the playoffs. Where they end up in the sort of divisional standings, 1, 2, or 3, I still think they'll be fine and get the number 1 overall seed in the Pacific, but there is a little bit of a question there, but a decent lead here going into the Olympic break. Last night's game against LA, fascinating in that it was a flip of what we've seen from this team, where they dominated early and they get out to a 4-0 lead, and the game is basically over at that point. They did a good job of holding on to it throughout the rest of the game there. The penalty kill was great, 5 for 5 in that game. So the Golden Knights scored early, and it's not something that they usually do. They're usually not scoring very much in the first period, but they did in this game, and it changed basically the entire way the game was played. Like, from a fan's perspective, just how much more casual was that game compared to what they've been doing for most of the season, but especially lately, where it's fall behind, score some goals. They're back in it. They need a late goal to try to tie in for its overtime. That's been so many games since the calendar changed to 2026. And yesterday was pretty comfortable, pretty nice, pretty easy to just sort of coast into a 4-1 win. I guess there were a few penalty kills there, but other than that, it wasn't too bad. Couple of interesting things from that game. First off, on the face-offs that I've been talking so much about, Tomas Hertl did not get used in a heavy defensive zone face-off role. In fact, through 2 periods, he had not taken a single defensive zone face-off. So Cassidy was giving them more offensive zone face-offs. Granted, there weren't that many face-offs in this game. Remember, 2 nights ago, there were 26 defensive zone face-offs for the Golden Knights. Last night, I believe they were under 20 as an entire team. I think the actual number came out to like 17 or 18. So fewer. Eichel still took the most. He took 8 defensive zone faceoffs, but Uchas, Hertl, and Marner were all between 3 and 5. So they all took about the same amount. So Cassidy didn't really lean on Hertl to go out and be the, hey, we need you to take all the defensive zone faceoffs type of role that we've been talking about. Now, their overall numbers with Hertl on the ice, they didn't score with Hertl on the ice, but the chances and everything like that were actually pretty good. So again, another sign that if you put Hertl in a lot of defensive zone situations, he's probably not going to produce. If you put him in a lot of offensive zone situations, you're going to get better numbers, better overall production. But maybe the most important part of that game, Adin Hill was good. Adin Hill gave up 1 goal. He had a save percentage that was over 900. It's the first time he's done that since he's come back from injury. And LA actually had 4.6 expected goals last night. Bunch of power plays kind of helps that, but 4.6 expected goals is actually a lot. The Golden Knights were not like this. Perfectly, we shut everything down defensively unit last night. And Adin Hill only gave up 1 goal. That was a good performance from Adin Hill. There's 2.5 weeks off, so we're all going to forget about this by the time they come back and play. But I've said before, it might be the most important thing. Center health actually could beat it, but how good is Adin Hill the rest of the season? Because what this team has at goalie might impact how far they can go in the playoffs. They can go anywhere in the playoffs because what they've gotten from the position is just, it's been bad this season. And if you're having to even consider starting Akira Schmid, you're probably in a lot of trouble. But if Adin Hill can play well, you've got some hope there, and you've got a goalie that can play, we've seen it before, the best goalie in the playoffs. You've got that opportunity there. So how good is he is going to be a big factor the rest of the season. And last night was, really the first good sign that we've seen, right? He has not been good since he's come back. Last night was by far the best, and really the only time we can say, oh yeah, that's a positive for Adin Hill. But Olympic break now. We're going to watch some Olympic hockey. Fortunately, the U.S., the men at least, their group stage games all start, I think it's noon Pacific time. So those will actually be a reasonable time of day. But once they get into the tournament, I know there's some games that can be a little bit earlier in the morning. And then the gold medal game is at 3 a.m. or something stupid like that. What a nightmare that is. So we'll watch some Olympic hockey over the next 2.5 weeks and see how some Golden Knights do. Now, UNLV plays Grand Canyon on Saturday. UNLV's lost 4 straight games, and they're coming off an indescribable loss to Fresno State. We'll see if there's a Tyron Jones update. Pastner has called him day to day. Pastner talks to the media later today, and then they've got to put out the official injury report tonight. So we'll see what that update is on Jones, who has missed the last 3 games now. Well, all but the first minute of the last 3 games. Grand Canyon is an interesting team because they are 20th in the country in defensive efficiency. This is a good defensive team. They do a really good job contesting shots at the rim, preventing good shots at the rim. They're a great defensive rebounding team, and they force some turnover, right? They do a lot of things really, really well. And it's kind of hard to say, how does UNLV score efficiently against a top 20 defense in the country? There is one area that Grand Canyon's defense is a little bad at. They foul a lot. UNLV draws a lot of fouls. Now, Tyron Jones is the main guy on this team that draws fouls, so if he's not playing, maybe that's not as easy for them, but that is an area. If UNLV has any sort of advantage or edge, that's what it is, that they might be able to draw a lot of fouls against Grand Canyon. Hopefully, it's not 80 free throws and 62 combined fouls like we saw against Fresno State in a 3-hour basketball game, but UNLV, that's probably where they could get some sort of edge on Grand Canyon. The other side, though, is actually the bigger weakness here. Grand Canyon is only 154th in offensive efficiency, which is worse than UNLV's offensive efficiency this season, and they can't hit threes. They're shooting 30.6% as a team. That's 2 percentage points below UNLV, who we've talked about. Horrendous three-point shooting team in the non-conference, has been better in conference play. But Grand Canyon, the two guys that have taken the most threes on their team are shooting 31 and 24%. The national average is 33, 34%. So they've got two guys who are taking a pretty high volume, almost 3 3-pointers per game, who, I mean, one's not, Jaden Henley's the guy making 24% of threes, the guy who was at UNLV last year. 24%, he's taking like 2.5, 3 a game. That's insane volume for somebody shooting that poorly. So we'll see how the three-point shot goes for Grand Canyon. UNLV's doesn't shoot enough to really be like, oh yeah, they'll outshoot a team and hit, 17 threes and that's how they win. But they shouldn't lose this game because the opponent hits a whole bunch of threes. In the NFL, Matt Stafford won the MVP over Drake May in one of the closest votes in NFL MVP voting. Couple of things on the voting here. I do find it funny when people get upset about an MVP race as close as this, because like Drake May and Matt Stafford, either one winning, it's not like some crime against the MVP or some crime against the season, right? They both had good years, and it's really just like, do you think strength of schedule matters? Because Drake May played one of the easiest schedules like in the history of football. Or how much do you think supporting cast matters? Because Matt Stafford's offense is awesome, right? Puka Nacua is out there. Like, they've got a good run game. So what matters to you? Stafford won. And then the thing that I enjoyed the most, though, is that the breakdown of first place votes, Stafford got 24, May got 23, Josh Allen got 2, and Justin Herbert got 1. So there were 3 people who did not vote for the top 2 candidates in May and Stafford. Sam Monson actually posted on Twitter why he voted for Justin Herbert. But here's what, I mean, I understand why, but here's what's stupid with sports fans and probably some sports media too. When there are awards in sports that have a whole bunch of voters, right? Like this is 50-something voters, or 50 even. The Heisman Trophy is like hundreds of people vote on it and all that, right? Like when you have these awards and there's a whole bunch of voters, the whole point of having a lot of voters is to have diverse opinions on who should win the award. And so we should not have very many awards that are unanimous or don't have sort of outlier. That's the whole point. You have all these voters so that there are outlier votes, that you have different opinions, so that the MVP is truly, we polled a bunch of people who think a bunch of different things, and this is who got the most votes, right? We shouldn't want our awards to just be voted on by, we have 50 people and they all think the exact same way. That's not how it should be. That's not the point of having all these different people vote on it. Otherwise, just pick one person to choose it every single year. That's it. Just pick one guy. Say, all right, Drake May wins it this year, right? But that's not how we do this. It's great that we have awards where it's 50 voters and one of those voters can vote for Justin Herbert. That's a good thing. That's what's supposed to happen. That's not a problem overall. So don't be mad that somebody voted for Justin Herbert. It is perfectly fine that somebody voted for Justin Herbert. In college football, this is a tough number. The SEC paid schools $72.4 million on average this year. That is a tweet from Ross Dellinger. That includes payouts from bowl games and college football playoff participation, which makes some teams get a little bit more money than other teams. It also doesn't include Texas and Oklahoma because they're getting a lower share for right now. After a few years, they'll get a full share in the SEC. But $72.4 million. And UNLV is getting 3.5. Yeah, that's not good. Also not good for Group of 5 programs or Mountain West programs. UTEP, who's going to join the Mountain West next year, their football coach is giving 10% of his salary to help pay players. Scotty Walden is the head coach at UTEP. He makes $800,000 per season. He is giving $80,000 to UTEP for revenue sharing to be given out to those players. That is brutal. The UTEP head coach makes less money than all the Power 5 head coaches, and it's not even close for a lot of them. The UTEP players make significantly less than all of these Power 5 players, and they've got to go, well, our coach is going to give 10% to get us $80,000. $80,000 wouldn't even get us a single starter at a Power 5 level, but we can split that up and, everybody on our team can get like $1,000. God, what a nightmare. I mean, just those two stories back to back. $72.4 million distributed to SEC schools. Head coach at UTEP has to give $80,000 just to get something into their revenue sharing for players. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. Now, funny story. Well, not for all people, but funny story. The WAC is punishing Utah Valley. So Utah Valley is leaving the Western Athletic Conference. The WAC basically fell apart. They're rebranding as a new conference next year because they're merging with the the Atlantic Sun. So the Western Athletic Conference is merging with the Atlantic Sun. And they're going to be called the United Athletic Conference, which, by the way, horrendous name. Why? Give us a fun name. Like, what are we doing? United Athletic Conference? That's the most generic name you could come up with. Give us something dumb and fun. That way we can actually remember. I won't remember United Athletic Conference ever. Not one time. But the story here is that Utah Valley's leaving the WAC. And that kind of destabilized it and led to a couple other schools leaving and the conference almost falling apart and having to merge with the Atlantic Sun. But they're leaving, and Utah Valley is apparently refusing to pay the exit fee. So the WAC is suing Utah Valley for $1 million over that exit fee. And now the WAC is not going to broadcast Utah Valley sporting events. So I guess most of WAC games are on ESPN Plus. And the WAC put out a notice yesterday that their game against Abilene Christian will not be on ESPN Plus because they are no longer in good standing with the conference. One massive problem in this, even if Utah Valley are just being the biggest assholes on the planet, right? Even if they 100% deserve to be punished, you're also now punishing Abilene Christian. And I know we're talking about Abilene Christian and Utah Valley, but you're now punishing the players and the coaches and the fans of Abilene Christian. Because imagine if you had a family member, right, who played for Abilene Christian and you don't go to these games. And you're like, oh, I'll watch them on ESPN Plus. You can't do that for this one. It's just so stupid. The whole we're going to not broadcast you, it's just dumb. I get why the WAC is upset about it or mad about it, but it's just ridiculous. It would actually be funny if the Mountain West tried to pull something similar and say, hold on, FS1, you're not broadcasting San Diego State games anymore. Yeah, we're not doing that anymore. Fresno State games, get them off TV. They probably need to be off. No, that's not true. We saw one of the most ridiculous things we've ever seen in a Fresno State basketball game earlier this week. But it's a punishment. It feels like it's the only thing they can actually do to punish them. And in reality, you're just punishing Abilene Christian as well. All right. Last thing in Bischoff's Briefs. I love cheating stories. If you listen to me on the press box, we had the fishing cheating story where guys were putting weights into their fish before they went and weighed them and they got caught. We had the false claims of the vibrating butt plug in chess, right? We got a new contender. We got a new contender for cheating. Enlarged penis for skiing. A German newspaper wrote about this in January, but The Athletic had a story on it yesterday because I guess it's now officially being investigated. But we're in ski jumping, right? Where they ski fast, they go off a big ramp, and then they all lean forward and see who can jump the furthest, right? This is the accusation that athletes are injecting their penis with a certain acid that temporarily makes the penis bigger. And then when they get measured for their uniform, it's measured bigger in the crotch area than it normally would be. And apparently, and then the penis goes back to its normal size. And then apparently that helps you jump further because according to the story, it creates a sail effect that keeps you in the air longer. There was actually a study done by the scientific journal Frontiers that says that a 2 centimeter change in the suit creates an extra 5.8 meters in length on the jump. So getting 2 extra centimeters on your crotch can lead to you jumping 5 meters further, which is probably a really big deal in that sport. Incredible cheating. I am in awe at the creativity. I think we should reward creative cheating, not punish creative I mean, this is just spectacular cheating. I mean, who and by the way, are you doing that? Somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, you can jump 5 meters further, but we're gonna inject an acid into your penis. We got the needle right here. That's where it's going." Are you doing that? That sounds terrible, but it's the Olympics, and it might be the difference between you getting to the Olympics and not getting to the Olympics. I think that might be worth it. If it's the difference between me getting a medal and not getting a medal, I think that might be worth it. Now, if I was like 7th best in the world and the difference between me and the bronze medal was like 15 meters, I'd be like, it's not worth it. But if I was 4th best in the world, I was like, all right, he's only jumping like 1 meter further than me. Let's go. Give me the acid. I mean, fantastic cheating. This is one of my favorite cheating stories of all time. Like the weights in the fish, whatever. I mean, you're just putting weights in fish. It's not all that creative. They just didn't get caught for a while. This one, this is great. So I am on board if this is true. I think we should let them compete with their enlarged suits. Yeah, why not? Sounds like a lot of fun. Bischoff's Briefs is brought to you by Battle Blast Las Vegas. Can you cheat at laser tag? I don't know, but it's the best laser tag in Las Vegas. Host your next birthday party at Battle Blast. Book the party package, and you'll get a private party room, dedicated party host, pizza, soda, arcade tokens, and obviously laser tag. It's Battle Blast Las Vegas, located at 8125 West Sahara Avenue. Your next stop for fun in Vegas. It is everybody's favorite person. It's Danny, and we're all going to pretend like we don't know how to pronounce his last name. It could be Smith, could be Smythe. Nobody actually knows. If you listen to me on the radio, you probably heard Danny yelling in the background about God knows what. Danny's here, and Danny's here for one very specific reason, and that is to tell us about prop bets for the Super Bowl. Hi, Danny.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Great. For anybody who doesn't know, during the Super Bowl, I don't bet like Degenerate Danny over here, but I do like to be Degenerate Danny during the Super Bowl. I usually take like
There
$200 or
you
$300
go.
and go bet on just prop bets. This is what Danny does every day of his life. And when before I asked him to come on, I asked him about betting on the Super Bowl, and his response was along the lines of, the game needs to hurry up and get here, or else I'm going to keep betting on things, which is exactly what I wanted to hear. So, Danny, here's how I want to do this. I have like 16 or 17 different bets. Some of them are kind of grouped together and like similar, but I want to go through and like we'll do sort of one at a time, and
Okay.
I'll tell you why I want to bet on it, and you tell me why things that you bet on that you're doing. So I'll give you the first one here, and these are 3 that are grouped together. I like to pretend to be smart and like look up some sort of numbers to make it sound like I'm smart and make me feel better about betting on things. And one of the things I discovered is that both the Patriots and the Seahawks, their best offensive quarters were the first quarters.
Okay.
EPA per play, New England was first this year and Seattle was 6th. And then they both start to fall off after that. So I have 3 bets for this. The first one is that there will be a score in the first 5.5 minutes of the game. And by the way, I bet $20 on all of these except for the ones I'll do at the end. Those are only $5 bets.
Is it just any score or touchdown specific?
Any score,
Okay.
5.5 minutes, and I get the 5:30, right? If there's a touchdown at 5:30 or a field goal at 5:30, I get it.
Okay.
So that's the first one. I bet 20 and I get 33. The second one was Sam Darnold to have a first quarter passing touchdown. And then the third one was the first half to have more points than the second half. All of those
Okay.
were plus money. Most of my bets are plus money. But that was my like, oh, I looked up two stats on this. This is what I'm doing is just, hey, there's going to be points early in the game.
Okay. Well, for my bets, hopefully you get your passing touchdown in the first 5:30, and then nothing else happens after that until the end of the first quarter, because I took under 9.5 points first quarter.
Okay. So the exact opposite of what I did.
To an extent, I mean, you could still hit all three of yours as long as like the second quarter has like 14 points, because I think that would be the highest of any quarter.
Was it 9.5 for both teams?
Yeah, it was combined 9.5. And last time I looked on Monday or Tuesday, that number's down to 8.5.
Because maybe I misread it. When I was at South Point, I could have sworn there was a bet for Seahawks, their total being 7.5 in the first quarter.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah,
You could do team total, and then you can do quarter total.
but theirs wouldn't be 7.5 and then both teams be 9.5, would it?
Yeah, they'd probably figure Patriots is around 3.5, and then that that would put them at 10 to 11 points, but the total is usually lower.
All right, these teams suck. The other, what do you have besides that? Do you have anything else you want to share first?
Um, not we'll get into it, but so just for fun, because I've always wanted to do this, and normally I would have done it for like college basketball, but I decided, you know what? That tournament's coming up in a month, so I'm gonna start this early and get it for the Super Bowl. I got one of those play sheets that football players have on their arms, and I have 2 pages worth of bets.
Oh my god. All right,
So
okay. I'm jealous. This is the most degenerate thing you've ever shared with me,
yeah,
but
and
I'm
they're
actually
color
jealous.
coded. It's color coded by what team each bet goes with. So, as you could tell, I spent a lot of time on this, and, to go back to the whole first quarter thing, I do have, where is it? I have Cooper Kupp 5 plus receiving yards in the first quarter and AJ Barner 5 plus receiving yards in the first quarter.
Okay, back to the armband because that's way more
Yes,
important than what you actually bet on. So
yes.
what color is it if it's just like a general game bet?
So, if it's just a game bet, I have both teams' colors, blue and green, and then blue is New England and green is Seattle.
I okay. I love this. I have one flaw. Are you
Okay.
able to like check off like, hey,
Oh,
this bet
yeah.
won? I can put a little check mark by it.
Yeah, it slides out pretty easily.
Right, but that's a big pain in the ass.
Yeah, but that's why I'm gonna put it on my right arm because I'm left-handed, so I could just slide it out a little bit, or another thing I could do, I could just bring a dry erase marker and just mark it off.
Yes, I like the dry erase marker. You got to get one of those. See, I'm behind the times. I just printed it off so I can have it like in my pocket during the game and be like, because I'm going to forget some of this stuff, and
Right.
that way I can just pull it up and look at it. I need an I listen. It's disgusting. It's very sad and pathetic, but I am jealous.
Hey, $7 at Big 5, so
It's
go get you
innovative.
one.
It's innovative. All right. This one I wasn't planning on betting until I got there. Because the South Point, if you go in person, has minus 105 on the point spread. And so I saw that and was like, oh, if I were a real gambler, I'd be like, that's a great deal. So I bet on Seattle minus 4.5 because it was minus 105.
Yeah, I mean, that you're probably getting your best line at that point with the minus 105 versus minus 110. It's depending on what you bet, say for every 10.50 you get $10 at minus 105, every 11 you get 10 at minus 110, so it's less you gotta put down to get more back.
Yeah. So I felt when I placed that bet, I was like, oh, if Danny did this, he'd be like, yeah, I'm smart. I know what I'm doing over here.
Yeah, it's good because as bettors always say, "Shop around." You get better lines, better numbers. You gotta look at multiple places. That's why you guys laugh, but that's why I had 7 sportsbook accounts on my
It
phone.
was 7?
I think at one time, I mean, they're still all open, but I think I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sportsbook accounts. But, like,
Okay.
half of them I can't use in Vegas because 'cause they're, like, DraftKings, FanDuel, Fanatics, things like that.
Are you betting at Kalshi or Polymarket?
I have not. I downloaded Kalshi, but I have not bet on it at all yet.
So I don't know a whole lot about it other than this seems like the biggest scam in the world and seems
I
terrible.
work with people who bet on it.
But well, here's the thing, like you're not playing against a sports book, right? Like the way it works
Right.
is you're just betting against other people that are
Yeah,
putting
yeah,
money.
so, like, the more people who bet one side, it'll go more into their
Right.
favor.
So like
Yeah,
but like and I know it's like there's like percentage based, it's different, but like in theory, you don't have to be as good to actually make money because you don't have to beat a sports book to make money.
correct, yes, you just have to be smarter than the average person, I guess, if you wanna call them average.
All right. Here's another one that I don't feel great that I put $20 on this one, but I bet yes for a successful 2-point conversion.
Okay.
Um, it's $20 and it wins 50. So I don't think Seattle goes for many 2-point conversions. I think I'm kind of hoping for like Seattle's up 11 in the fourth and New England scores, or up 15 in the fourth and New England
Yeah,
scores. Probably what's going to have to happen there. But I was like, whatever. I can yell at these coaches to not be morons and go for it every time they score a
right.
touchdown. That's what the point. Because here's what I do. Some of my bets are like, oh, I think I'm smart. I'm going to bet on that. The other bets are like, that'll be fun to cheer for while I'm watching the
Oh,
Super
yeah. Absolutely, those are the best ones. Cause just wait till you hear some of these ones I got,
Bowl.
but, like, I'm kinda with you on that. I don't have the success, but I have two-point attempt. So, I'll be with you in spirit on that one, and hope that
um,
we can get both of them same time.
yeah. This is the one I feel the best about. I bet Mack Hollins over 2.5 receptions. The
Okay.
reason I feel the best about it is he did not play in the first 2 playoff games for the Patriots. And then he did play in the AFC Championship game. He only had 2 catches, so I'd lose, but he was the leading receiver, and they played in a blizzard for half that game where New England, like, literally just had Drake May throw the ball out of bounds on a play because they didn't wanna actually throw it to a player.
Right.
But the last 8 games of the regular season, Mac Hollins averaged 4.4 catches per game. He only had 2 games in the last 8 where he was under 3 catches, and both of those he had 2. So, like, I feel good about that one. Like, if he's healthy, they throw the ball to Mac Hollins. I think he's gonna get 3 catches fairly easily, and it was plus money to bet the over. So
Yeah,
I
and
feel great about that one.
since they've been in Northern California, his feet have thawed out from the weather that they had in New England, and he doesn't have to put on shoes. He can just walk outside barefoot, and it's like 65 degrees, and he'll be all right.
That is the other key is that we like Mac Hollins simply because he doesn't wear shoes. And we specifically found out on our show by Cassie Soto telling us that he was running barefoot across the parking lot.
Yeah.
Was
And
like,
I'm gonna say there's a lot of people who I think secretly listen to our show and like big name people, like national people, because after we talked about that with Cassie, that story blew up. I think it blew up when he was in Atlanta. So we're
it
taking credit for that story.
it did get a lot of traction when he went to Atlanta. It became a thing in Atlanta, and I assume in New England it has too.
Oh
Um,
yeah, absolutely. They show him every day. They're gonna show him on Sunday walking into the stadium with no shoes.
yeah. This one is so okay. I think Drake May is going to run a lot in this
Yep.
game. And his rushing total is like 36 or 37 and a half, something like that. And I was going to bet that, but I thought this would be more fun. Uh, Rush yards, I took Drake May minus 30 and a half against Sam Darnold.
Okay.
Darnold does not run at all. Like his rushing total is like 6 or 5, something like that in
Yeah.
that neighborhood. So he doesn't run at all. But the reason I did that is because anytime Sam Darnold takes off, I will just get to yell like, "Hey, kill him. Like take him down
Yeah,
now."
absolutely.
That one I was like, "All right, I might lose this one because of that." Like if Darnold breaks off a 15-yard run, I'm going to be so pissed. But that seems like a lot of fun to cheer for that one.
And I'm kinda I wouldn't say I'm with you, but like I have Sam Darnold rush attempts. So, and I have over 2.5. So if he could just do a couple kneel downs, he'll lose yards and then you're good to go.
Oh, if I win that on a Seahawks kneel down in the fourth quarter, oh, I'll be so pumped.
Have you ever heard John Von Tobel's story of the Patrick Mahomes rush yards
No,
from the first San Francisco Super Bowl?
no, I have not. Are you going to be able to tell this
So
story well?
yes.
Okay.
So John had over Patrick Mahomes rush yards in that Super Bowl against San Francisco. And I think he was like 25 or 30 yards over, some crazy number. And on the final drive, Mahomes had to kill more time than there would have been to just kneel out. So he scrambled and he lost like 25 yards scrambling. And John lost the bet on 1 yard. It was insane. And
So
then the
yeah,
world shut down.
I will be cheering for Sam Darnold to do that. Now if Drake May does it, I'm furious. I'll be yeah, I won't bet again next year. It'll be a nightmare. All right, the next three I grouped these together because they're all Ken Walker bets. I didn't parlay them; they're just individual, but they're grouping together for the sake of the show. If you don't know, I have had Ken Walker for his entire career in a. I hate that. I cannot stand getting made that back this year. Starting hurt now, giving Ken Walker up. You know, 5-5. Right. Just done that the whole season. So I just Ken Walker touchdown, Ken Walker over 74.5 rushing yards, Ken Walker over 21.5 receiving yards. He's my favorite player in the Super Bowl. I just want to be cheering every time he does something.
I will say we're kind of against each other in the yards. I don't have them with touchdowns or receptions or anything, but rush yards. I took New England running backs. So all New England running backs combined to have more yards than Kenneth Walker. So
Wild. That's a wild bet, Danny. That's
yeah,
wild.
so you can hit 80 as long as I hit 81.
So do you think the Patriots are going to win?
No, but I think New England is going to be able to run more on Seattle than Seattle will be able to run on New England. I
Because
think Seattle will.
part of the logic, I think, is like, oh, I think Seattle's going to win the game. So I feel better about Ken Walker getting
Yeah,
75 rushing yards.
I'm hoping it's kind of like close through the first 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter is where Seattle takes it. So if I can still get New England to run the ball, and they've shown throughout the year that they can run the ball, and recently Seattle has given up rush yards as well, even though they are a very good defense. So especially since I get Henderson and I get
Stevenson.
Stevenson, if I get both of them and they can both get 45, 50 yards, I think I'll be okay.
I also bet Drake May to have a touchdown rushing or receiving because I think he's
I
going to
like
run.
it.
And then this one, I simply bet this one just because I wanted to bet until the very end. New England is the last team to score. I
Okay.
just bet they were like plus 110. I would have bet Seattle if they were plus 110 for it, but I was like, give me a bet that I know I'm going to be invested until the game is literally over. So
All
whoever
right.
scores last, hopefully it's New England. And then I have 4 bets that are $5, and these are all
Okay.
long shots. I bet yes on a safety for $5, and then I have 2 first touchdown bets. One is Jake Bobo.
Oh,
I win
nice.
$250 on a $5 bet. The other is Austin Hooper, the second tight end for the Patriots, which
Okay.
is 175 if he gets a touchdown. And then the last one, I bet $5 on Rashid Shaheed for MVP. That way, if he returns a kickoff for a touchdown, I'll be very excited for the rest of the game.
There you go. Hey, I like those. Those are always fun.
Yeah,
I have
those
a
are plenty bets.
I have Rashid Shaheed, which will fall in with your MVP bet as well. I have him to be first receiver to 40 yards.
Okay,
So
what a bet, Danny. That's
I'm
a great.
hoping just out the gates, just bomb, go.
You're gonna have your damn wristband up, but you're also gonna
Oh,
have to have your phone up, pulling up the stats to be like, oh shit, Smith and Jigba's at 38 yards. They better not
yep.
throw it to him again.
Yep. I'm gonna have So I'm going over to a buddy's house, and either me or somebody, I'm gonna tell him, "Pull out a laptop. Let's keep the box score up. I need to see what's going on." But I got
Last
14-1 for first to 40, and he can do that. And I was even looking at, longest pass in the air, also looking at Shaheed. He's like 8-1.
last one for you because I'm going over to a friend's house and watching this. One of my friends was like telling me like, "Hey, I'm gonna bet on will a kick, a field goal, or an extra point hit the upright?"
Yeah.
And I want to say it was only like plus 4 or 500. Like
Yep.
it didn't seem right. Like I was like, that's not high enough. But he's like, I'm betting on this. And me and I think everybody else that's coming, we're all like, yes, please just double, triple your bet because we want in on this. So that is gonna be the peak moment. Every time they kick
Oh,
something, we're
yeah.
just be like, hit the upright, you idiot.
And it does your bet specifically say miss by hitting upright? Because if it just hits the upright and goes in, that should still count.
I didn't play he placed it. He sent us a screenshot. I don't believe it says that. I think it just says hit upright.
Alright, so there you go.
Actually, I'm gonna have to double check because like technically speaking, the lower bar is not the upright.
Correct, it's crossbar.
Right. So I'm gonna have to double check the language on that one because if it hits the crossbar and we don't get credit for that, oh furious.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One of the bets I was looking at, I haven't placed it. I think I'm done and I'm just gonna let it pass. But 4-1, it's interception, fumble lost, and missed field goal happen,
Oh.
which I think all three, the iffy one is the field goal, but I think the other two will happen.
So Myers, Seattle's kicker, has been way too good this year.
Yeah.
Um, because I wanted to bet missed extra point, but I went and looked it up and like, oh, that guy hasn't missed one all year. And Borealis, I think, has missed like one or two. So I was like, that doesn't feel good. But I probably should have known this, but I didn't realize it until this week. The Seahawks had the second most turnovers in the NFL this year.
Yeah, they had a lot. Sam
Yeah.
Darnold's thrown like 17
Right.
interceptions.
Which is insane. Like they're a good offense and he's had a good year, but it's like, oh yeah, he just throws to the other team like every game. So I didn't bet. I thought about it, but there wasn't anything that I was like, oh yeah, I really want to do that. But like I think Darnold's throwing a pick and that's a
Yeah,
good thing to bet on overall.
absolutely. And I think lost fumble is going to come on a sack. So
Yes.
then all you need is them to try like a 50-55 yarder at the end of the half or something, and it just goes a little wide and you're good.
All right. What give me more that you bet on. Which ones are you
Okay.
most excited that you bet
Do
on?
you do you want outlandish ones or do you want like good ones?
Just so you know, I love that I could hear the Velcro unsnapping on your wristband
Oh,
as you pulled
it's
this
great.
open. All right, for give me like one or two that you're like, oh, I actually think this is gonna win. Like I bet on this because I
Okay.
think it's going to win.
All right, I'll give you a handful of them. So I have let's go Trevion Henderson over 2.5 receiving yards.
Okay. So you
I
think he's
think
gonna play unlike last week?
yeah, he'll get one catch and it'll be good. And then I have Seahawks. This is kind of like two bets that I think will go together. Seahawks to convert a fourth down and also AJ Barner to have a rush yard because he's their tush push guy.
Yes. You know what I read? I read a stat today. Where was that story? I think it was the Athletic. The Seahawks were like bottom 3 in the league and going for it on fourth downs this year. That they
Really?
kick more than like everybody else in the league. I was like, "Oh, really?" Like they're just that much better than people. They're not even going for it on fourth downs.
Well, I was looking it up shortly before I joined, and AJ Barner has 11 rush attempts this year, and 4 of them have come on fourth down.
You're gonna be so mad when he does it on third. I mean, I guess you'll win one of the bets, but when they do it on third
Yeah,
and one.
yeah. So I like those. And then I was thinking it's probably going to be a slow start to the game just because of jitters and all that. I bet each team their first drive ends in a punt.
Oh no.
Separate bets, not together,
Then
separate.
Kubiak's got a show out for the Raiders. He's going
Uh,
deep on the first drive.
and then, like I told you, my favorite bet that it's hit in 3 of the last 4, and it's hit in 5 of the last 10 and should have been 6 of 10,
Should
but
have been.
should have been because they went for a pass and Ted Ginn Jr. got sacked.
Yeah. All
I
right.
like
Tell us
over
what it is.
over 2.5 players with a pass attempt, not a completion attempt.
Yeah. All right.
And Cooper Kupp has done it numerous times. I think he's going to get a shot. I think somebody on the Patriots is going to get a shot because they've done it numerous times in the Super Bowl. And you got Mike Vrabel, who, I mean, when he played, he caught multiple touchdowns. So you know he's going to be into some trickery.
Uh, you might have bet on this, but South Point didn't have it, but I saw other places having like, will a lineman or defensive player catch a touchdown pass for the
Yep.
Patriots? Did you bet on
Yep.
that one?
So I got those. Not Patriot specific, but I do have linemen to catch a pass at 20-1. And I have any player 300 pounds or more to score a touchdown. We want a thick six. Let's go. That one is 30-1. And so I looked it up. Every offensive lineman and every defensive lineman for both teams weigh over 300 pounds, except for one guy. He's 299. So I need him to eat a big meal.
Eat a big meal. Well, I don't think they're weighing them before the Super Bowl for your bet.
We need live weigh-ins. I need exact numbers.
Who like what's the official weight? Is it like what's it listed on the NFL website?
I think it's what they're listed at. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
according to ESPN, the lightest weighted guy, I think it was like one of the second or third string linemen for the Patriots. He's 298.
Do you know? I listen. If some lineman scores, I am immediately looking up how much they weigh just to laugh at you. That
Absolutely.
it's the guy that weighs 298.
I'm going to be so angry.
It'll be great.
And then those are pretty much like Rashid Shaheed over 4.5 rush yards. I think that'll be a good one. Just take an end around and get 5, 6, 7 yards.
I did not bet it, but I wanted to. When I got to the South Point, it was like it went from like plus 110 to like minus 150. But Seattle under 4.5 players to have a carry in the game. And
Ooh,
like
okay.
they're gonna start sharpening. Walker's gonna get him. They're probably gonna give George Holani a carry, and then
Yep.
Shaheed has gotten one like roughly every other game since he got traded to Seattle. And then Darnold will probably run, but they don't have a fifth guy anymore. They hand the ball off to unless they
AJ
give
Barner.
away a Venable.
AJ Barner.
I guess that's true. He does have, yeah, okay, that could happen there. But like,
There's your
at
5.
first when I first saw it, it was like plus 110, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bet on that. But then it like was minus 150 when I got there. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not here to win a bet that's minus 150.
Yeah, but now you go over, you get the 5. I think all 5 players are going to get rush attempts.
That's a lot, Danny. That's a lot of rush. That's a lot of guys carrying the ball.
I mean, really, the only one you're worried about is probably Shaheed.
I
Because I
wonder
think
if
even on a 3rd and 2, not a 4th and 2, but a 3rd and 2, I think they'll give AJ Barner the ball.
no, I don't think they will. It's all Ken Walker time, baby. They do hate Ken Walker in short yardage scenarios.
Oh yeah, there's I saw earlier. I forget what book it was. I think it was William Hill. You can bet team specific if they will attempt to pass on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, well, that was the other funny one because the Seahawks lost the Super Bowl when Wilson threw the pick on the
Yep.
1-yard line. That's a hilarious bet, by the way.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
it's great. No, but so one of two, I got 2 wild ones that one of them I don't think is really going to happen. Will a scoregami occur? 25-1.
that
I
also
was
doesn't seem high enough.
I was looking at them, and the 2 scoregamis that make sense to me, and it's going to be a little difficult to get there. 32 to, I think it was 32-15
Okay.
and 25-18.
25-18. Okay.
Yeah.
You need like safeties
Gonna
and
need a 2-point conversion. Yeah. It's gonna be
you
a
need
little
like
tough, but
it feels like you need a safety early in the game that causes a team to be like, "Oh shit, we need to go for it now."
yeah.
Go for 2 now or something like that.
Yeah, gonna need some weird stuff there. Seahawks to have the longest kickoff return.
Were they how I
Uh,
assume they were
both
minus.
both sides were minus 115.
Oh, okay, alright, so it's even. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, that actually
and
seems pretty
then
good.
right, and then Seahawks to have a punt return over 17 and a half yards. Shaheed, this fits in with your MVP. He's got to get good ones.
Does he return the punts too?
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta look this up because I was texting Mike Grimala, who's a Patriots fan, to ask him
Um,
random Patriots things, and one of the things he said was about I can't remember which way he had it, but they were I think he said they're good, their punt coverage is fine, their kick coverage is bad, I believe is what he specifically said. I can't find his text, but yeah, I was texting him about random Patriots things to before I made some bets.
okay. There's also a chance I might be wrong. I don't know, but it hopefully he
Danny, there's always
does.
if you're wrong.
Yeah, I know. It's great. Um, but no, oh yeah, he does return. He's
Okay.
got 13 punt returns for 210 yards and a touchdown.
I found it hilarious. The Rams, whoever their return man was, fumbles, and then the next time they're like, "All right, Kyron Williams, our starting running back, get the hell out
Yes.
there, catch this punt, so
Yeah,
it's not a fumble."
it was great. And then I have JSN for MVP plus 580. I think if he has a big game, I don't think they're going to award Sam Darnold for it unless Darnold goes out and throws 350 and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I I wanted to bet JSN stuff, but like his receiving yard, it was like 96 and a half or something, and I was like, that
Yeah,
just it seems so easy for him to not have 96 yards. I was like, I don't
right.
feel great betting that one, and especially if I think Seattle's gonna win and they don't really throw a lot in the second half of the I don't know. I wanted to bet JSN stuff because he's awesome, but I was like, there's just nothing that I really loved. And I don't really like making MVP bets unless it's like I'm gonna bet $5 on the stupid kick returner to win MVP.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Just
those are good.
like, yeah, the quarterbacks win most of them, and then otherwise you're just hoping the voters give it to the receiver when like if a receiver has a chance to win it, it probably means the quarterback did have a good game.
Yeah. And the last time we saw a receiver win, it was Cooper Cup.
Yeah.
So it's been recent. So we'll see what JSN can do. And then my last wild one, it's actually I don't even think I put it in here. I might have to reprint.
Oh,
Oh wait, no,
Jesus.
there it is. There it is. I found it. I found it. We're good. Don't worry, guys. Uh any team to throw an interception in the final minute of the fourth quarter.
Oh, that's a fun one. I like
So
that
I
one.
kind of needed to be like a 10 to 11 point game. And then one of the teams, whoever's trailing, throws just a terrible pass. And that's plus 1150.
I like that. That's a good one. Yeah, you're locked in until the final minute, just like oh yeah,
Yep.
that's a good one. I like that one. All right, show us the wristband one more time.
Yeah. So it's got that fresh Velcro. I've only opened it like 4 times. It smells like fake leather.
Oh,
It's good. It's
did you
good.
go buy
Color
it
coded.
in person?
Yeah, I bought it yesterday at Big Five.
I love that you made a stop out of your way to get a wristband to put your bets in.
Not only did I make a stop, I made 2 stops because Target didn't have it. I was like driving there because I did it on my way home and I passed by both of them on my way home and I was like, this is for sure a Target item. Like, if you go into the sports section of a Target, they're going to have headbands, wristbands, and they should have play sheets. They didn't have it.
Fantastic.
That's all right though.
All right, before I let you go, are you betting on the Olympics at all?
Yes. I made 3 bets today.
They just
They're
started,
all
Dan. It's been as curling and hockey.
Yeah, no, well, they're not like specific sports. It's very pro US. I watched the women's team kick the hell out of Czechia earlier today. It was fantastic. I have US most gold, which apparently is going to be a little difficult. I got them, I think, at like plus 475 or something like that. And then I went over 30 and a half total medals, and I went over 12 and a half gold medals.
For who?
All for the US, very pro US. I don't know anything about any of the other countries.
How many events are there? We're only going to win 31 medals?
So I was actually looking into this. They haven't hit 30 in like the last 6 Olympics.
Why do I feel like the Summer Olympics, we win like 50 golds and like
Oh yeah.
300 total medals?
Yeah, we dominate Summer Olympics. We win everything. Like there's nothing we don't
Yeah.
win. But in the Winter Olympics, apparently we suck. Like the
Well,
highest
we're good.
Yeah, we're good, but like the highest gold medal count going back, I think I went back to the 2010 Winter Games, and the most gold we ever had was like 10, and the most total medals we ever had was like 28. So we haven't reached either of these numbers in the last 4 Winter Games.
What are we doing? Unbelievable. This is,
I don't
I guess
know.
it's because it's 70 degrees out here, so it's not winter anywhere in this damn country, so we can't practice ski.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't hold them all in Boston. We gotta hold them somewhere else apparently.
All right. He is Degenerate Danny, and this is what he lives for. And I do it once a year. He does it every week of his life, and somehow is still here. Danny, thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
One programming note as we wrap up the show for the week. I intend to be drinking a lot and yelling about my prop bets during the Super Bowl. So my plan is to record Monday's show before the Super Bowl. It's a local show. We don't have to talk about the Super Bowl, even though Clint Kubiak's going to be the coach of the Raiders and he's coaching in that game as the OC of the Seahawks. But that's my plan. So if Monday's show seems a little odd, that might be why. I guess if something truly important happens, um, you'll get an interesting Tyler's kind of drunk show talking about Clint Kubiak doing something. But that's my plan for Monday's show. I thought about not doing a show, but I was like, hey, there's a whole weekend that I can record stuff. So that'll be the plan for Monday. So if you tune in being like, why is Tyler acting like the Super Bowl never happened? That would be why. Wouldn't cover it anyways. But I plan to be drinking Sunny D seltzers and yelling about Ken Walker scoring touchdowns. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.